Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm back with another quick tip video. This is going to be a follow-up on the previous video that I produced about joint bars. In an effort to keep that one kind of short and quick, I left some information out, but the video kind of blew up and there was some good conversation going on in the comment section. And so I thought that it'd be worth kind of following up with some additional sort of thoughts about joint bars. And so that's what this video is all about. So the first thing would be just about joint bars and when to use them. I wanted to suggest that everyone take a look at prototype photos from your area that you're modeling to see how the real world does it, because that can kind of help answer some questions for you for your own layout. Not all rail actually uses joint bars. There's a lot of modern rail, especially on heavily used mainline, is welded. So they don't actually use joint bars to join pieces of track together. They actually weld those pieces of track. So there'd be no reason to, for me, say on this piece of track right here, which is the Union Pacific main line, to actually add joint bars to that track, because on the real world prototype, that is welded track. So I'm going to show you a picture right now, and you can see in this picture there's an engine sitting on a track. That engine is a Ponderay Valley Railroad engine. That is the prototype that I'm creating a freelance version of. And you can see the track that it's sitting on does contain joint bars, but the track right in front of that is the Union Pacific main line, and that is welded rail. So you can see there are no joint bars there. Another thing to consider is actually the spacing between joint bars. I mentioned in my last video I'm using 39-foot segments. From my research that I've been able to do on my short line, all the track is 39-foot segmented rail. Somebody mentioned in the comments, though, there are 78-foot sections of rail. So some of the this is more modern. You know, as flat cars got bigger, they're able to hold longer pieces of rail, and so the modern sections of track are going to be at 78 foot. I haven't found for myself on my railroad areas where they're using 78-foot rail, so I'm not saying they're not using it there, but I'm going to go ahead and just go with the standard 39-foot rail for my layout. Another thing to consider too, and again, prototype photos will answer this question for you, is whether to use 4-bolt or 6-bolt joint bars. For the most part, I am only really using 4-bolt joint bars on my personal layout, just to keep it simple and reduce complexity and that kind of thing. For myself, I don't know the difference between the 6-bolt and the 4-bolt and when to use one versus another. You know, in my prototype photos I see both, but that's you know, I can't say why one over the other. So for myself, I think 4-bolt is enough to give me what I'm looking for as far as the look and feel of a rail with joint bars attached to them. Another thing that I'm doing is I am only attaching joint bars to the area of the rail that is actually going to be visible from regular viewing angles. So I'm only attaching joint bars to the front of the aisle side of the track, here, all the way down, and not on the back side of the track, because I'm not going to necessarily be seeing that. However, there are some sections where you can see kind of both sides. So like right here, I've got a joint bar on this piece of rail, and on the inside I've also got a joint bar, because from the aisle I can look down the length of this track here and I can see the joint bars on both sides there. So save yourself some time and energy and money, and only place joint bars on the side of the rail that you can actually see. That's going to make the most sense for you. Another thing you'll want to do is offset your joint bars. So you can see right here I've got one right here, one right here, here. They are offset on either side of the rail. And the reason for that is, in the real world, you're going to prevent the rail, that where two pieces of rail were to come together. If they were jointed at the same piece, there's a potential for like a kink to happen as the rail expands and contracts with heat or ground movement or whatever else it might be. And I believe also it's going to provide a smoother sort of ride experience for trains going over the rail if only one axle is passing over a joint in the rail on one side at a time, as opposed to multiple sides So that is the reason for that. It doesn't need, the spacing doesn't need to be perfect between the two every single time. It can be a little bit all over the place, especially in yards and complicated areas where switching is done. But just as long as those joint bars are offset from each other, you're going to get a sort of realistic look, and you can see that in prototype photos. I think that's it as far as additional thoughts around rail joiners. Hopefully this gives you some additional information that you can utilize. And I mean, the big thing is just check out the prototype photos and see what they're doing in real life with real life track. That'll give you a lot of good inspiration and a good idea of what you should use on your own model railroad. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you all in another video. Cat, I'm going to murder you.